Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, my name is Magda K. I'm a Tantra teacher and an intimacy coach. And I really wanted to speak about sexual mastery for men as a form of initiation into manhood, like a modern variation of the rite of passage. Now, if you're new here, if this is the first time we're connecting, welcome so much. If you have already connected with me before, watched some other videos, you're on my mailing list, then so lovely to see you again. So the things that I love to talk about is all those different ways, small and big, how we can experience more depth and fulfillment in our intimate lives, how to bring back the spark inside and outside of the bedroom. And I love talking to men. I love working with men. So today's video is especially for you. And one of the things that I teach men, and I've been doing this for many years, I've worked with hundreds of men, is the whole concept of sexual mastery. And I want to speak about it today because apart from this whole conversation that when you master your sexuality, when you master your ejaculation, apart from the benefits like lasting longer, becoming a better lover, conserving your life force energy, this whole conversation is so much bigger. It's so much bigger because of how the society is treating masculinity. So where I will be going in this video, in this live YouTube, is giving you a broader understanding of a path that every man goes through to really arrive into the highest expression of your gifts, your natural expression, your mission, your calling. This is something that every man feels, and the intensity of this feeling will depend on where you are in your life. So, not just the physical age, but like your energy, mental age, like where do you find yourself? But there comes a time in every man's life where you realize that life is not just about having fun. It's not just about going out and hooking up and all of this, but you have this strong calling from within to leave a legacy, to build something, to make a difference. This whole idea of being like knowing your mission and being committed to your mission, it's huge for men. It's huge. Now we live in times in a society where all of those rituals and traditions they've disappeared. They're not there anymore. We live in times where our elders are not really honored and respected. And one of the reasons why they're not really respected is they don't actually have so much wisdom to pass on. We haven't cultivated. So a lot of men, when they look at their fathers or their grandfathers, they see an example of being a man. They do not want to copy. So men are lacking those initiations, those rituals. They lack those examples of like more mature men that could embody this beautiful energy of masculinity. And so what happens is that men experience midlife crisis, which what it is that by that time, men should be on a different stage in their life than the majority of men is in our times. So we look at midlife crisis around 40 years old. By 40, a man should have already stepped into the energy of the king. And one of the things that makes a king is a throne in his kingdom. Meaning by then you should have already for long known what it is that you came here to do and take a throne in that field, meaning you should have a lot of successes around it. Instead, many men in their late 30s, in their 40s, more and more, are discovering that they don't really know what they want in life, that they've been following what the society has been telling them, but it's not really in their alignment. And so we have this midlife crisis because it's the soul screaming, hey, it's time to step on the path that you were chosen for. So that's what I really want to talk about today. I want to talk about how sexual mastery can help you get back on track, get back on the path of what is your unique mission in this life. Okay, that's what I want to talk about. So as you guys know, for those of you who have like watched some of those videos before, you know that I don't do like 5 minute videos. I don't give you like, oh, 3 steps too, because that's not how life works. Life is so beautifully complex, and you as a human being in a male body, you're so absolutely beautiful and multidimensional. I would never just diminish you into like 3 steps too. You're so much more than that. So you guys know I love to go deep. I love to dissect things. So if you allow me, please join me on this beautiful, beautiful path, this beautiful adventure of exploring on a deeper level what it means to be a modern man in our times, what it means to fully embody your sexual power, your masculine power in our times. And ultimately, this is for you to really feel fulfilled in life. And of course, it's for your partner because she will benefit massively from that. Okay. So let's get started. So I want to tell you about this experiment, which maybe some of you have heard about. It's called the marshmallow experiment. So in this experiment, it happened quite many years ago. It's one of like the classics. So many years ago, they picked a group of kids, of children, like young children, and they put them in a room and they gave them a marshmallow. And the professor said that he's going to be back in 15 minutes. And if a child can wait until then without eating that one marshmallow, when the professor comes back, he's going to give them another one. And so then they were observing how would those different children react. So he had a variety of reactions, starting from the kids that were like just eating that marshmallow right away, not even waiting, not even like, I'm not even going to think about it. I want it now. Then you had those kids that would like bring this marshmallow, it's like smell it, lick it, like, oh, I cannot. They're like absolute torture, right? And then maybe they would bite some of it, maybe they would still eat it, or maybe they would resist. And of course, you had some children that could resist pretty easily. What they did is that they followed those kids until the adulthood. And what they realized is that the children that were able to resist the desire to eat that first marshmallow, so in other words, they were able to delay gratification because through delaying of the flavor of eating of the marshmallow, they would get more, right? Because if they were able to wait, they would get 2 marshmallows. So the children that were able to do so were actually more successful in their adult life. So this is like a flagship experiment that talks about instant versus delayed gratification. Now, on the bigger scale, we all know what it means, right? Those big goals that we have, like having fit body, like having a great job, making enough money to buy a house, right? All of those big goals, you know very well that they will ask you multiple times to stay disciplined and committed instead of giving in to small distractions. So I always talk about like these different metaphors, like if we compare it to like dieting and losing weight, it's something we can all relate to. Let's say I want to like lose 5 kilos. That's my big goal, and I want to be like more toned, right? And then I can go to the cafe, and I have this moment, right? A part of me wants cake because of course it's sugar, it's good, it gives me benefits in the moment of the flavor, right? Of sugar rush. But there's a delayed gratification that would come from not eating it today. So it's the instant gratification, which would take me away from my bigger goal, or I can say no to the instant gratification and I can stay committed to my bigger goal. So, of course, if we ever want to achieve something big, how easily we will achieve it will be directly dependent on our ability to not give in to cravings. Okay, and that's pretty obvious, right? If someone cannot like keep the discipline of not eating ice cream and donuts, it's gonna be really difficult for them to lose weight. If someone wants to build a great financial portfolio, but they keep shopping and they can never really keep enough savings to invest, they're not gonna have this, right? So that's pretty clear and pretty obvious. And for men especially, this concept of being successful in the definition of the modern society, that is important. But for men, there's a bigger conversation here. Okay. So the ability to delay gratification is important for all. But for men, there is another layer to this, which is even way more important than that. And that comes down to the fact that you are not born a man. A boy is born, right? But you become a man. So it's not that you have a boy and then you just naturally grow up, get older, and that you with time become a man. A man, like feeling like a man, manhood is something earned. So we have different rites of passages. We have initiations, all designed throughout all of the cultures around the globe to allow for this transition. It's like, look, for example, when when you get a promotion, what does usually happen, right? You get a higher salary, your title changes, sometimes you change an office. There is excuse me. Mm. There is a ceremony around that transition. When you become 1 year older, you celebrate birthday. What is it? You have a party, you have gifts, you have a cake. There's again a celebration, there's a ritual that is meant to signify that you're moving from one chapter to the next. And so in traditional cultures, we had the same for men and women, right? Something would happen that would symbolize that you are no longer a boy, now you are a man. And unfortunately, this is something that our society just does not have. We have started using things like, oh, the first time you get drunk, right? The first hangover, that's somehow initiation into manhood. That maybe like getting a job is like initiation to manhood. Making a lot of money is, or like getting like the internship in a really good corporation, that's like symbolizes manhood. And it really is not. Because again, manhood is something that needs to be earned. So I'm going to first speak about women, okay? So you kind of understand what it's about, because for women, this initiation works a little bit differently because nature initiates women. Our body initiates us into womanhood. For men, the initiation is created, okay? It's the environment, the external situation that forces a man to step up. For a woman, it's biology that pushes us there. So for a woman, that form of initiation is first bleeding, okay? The first time a woman starts menstruating and bleeds, then pregnancy and giving birth. Then, of course, with the higher phases, we're speaking about menopause, which is also like an initiation, a ritual, rite of passage into the next phase of her life, which is the wise woman. So if you think of this, for example, about bleeding for a woman, right? When this happens, it changes everything. Like her body starts operating with a different rhythm. There's a cycle now. Before a woman menstruates, she can move the way she wants. But once she starts bleeding and ovulating, she starts moving in cycles. So the way she moves through life changes. Then with the pregnancy, like this is a huge physical test, especially birth. Like literally, you guys know what I'm talking about. Like a baby of this size is trying to squeeze through something of that size. Like this is a true initiation. It's so painful. It's so exhausting. Some women die during giving birth. And that is an initiation. Initiation is always challenging. It's about finding your edge. It's about being on the brink of dying. And this can be physical death, this can be ego death, but it's like ends. Something ends. If you guys follow yogic traditions or tantric traditions, there is a goddess of Kali. There's Kali, the goddess of ending, of time. And Kali is intense. Kali cuts the head off. She looks like a very scary deity, but really what it is just, yeah, the brutality of endings, which is needed to step into the higher expression. So the initiation needs to be challenging. It has to be challenging. So now let's look at the modern society, okay? Is having sex for the first time, is that challenging on you? Is getting drunk the first time challenging for you? Is getting a promotion actually challenging for you? None of those actually initiate you to manhood. That's the confusion of the modern society, because we have a very skewed idea of what it means to be a man in our times. But that is not a true initiation. You can have men who have tons of sex, make lots of money, they're very strong, but really at the level of where they are, they're way more boys than they are men. Because again, to become a man, you need to be initiated. And the initiation means you being really challenged. Like, this is not meant to be something easy. If you look at tribes and what those rites of passage are, these are some seriously dangerous experiences. Um, Imagine, for example, going into the forest for 48 hours without your phone, without any food, without any water, and just surviving. And there are places where people do this for like a week. So now, to all the men listening, like, would you be able to pass this kind of a test? Now, that is a true initiation. A true initiation is a test, right? And passing this test means that you can take care of yourself, you can take care of others, that you're trustworthy, that you are solid, you're reliable, right? If you cannot handle yourself in such challenging, demanding situations, that you are none of those things. Okay? So this is huge. The initiation needs to be challenging. It's not meant to be easy. And the thing is that we live in times when we are continuously looking for comfort. Okay? When it's too cold, let's put the heating on. When it's too hot, let's put the AC on. I'm hungry, let's get some food. I'm tired, let's get coffee. Right? Comfort, ease. Everything needs to be easy, pleasant. So, where is there any space for initiation? So this is like a huge topic because, again, for a woman, unless, which, Jesus Christ, it's even possible, but unless we go so crazy and start interfering with the woman's natural biology and somehow change her menstrual cycle and somehow come up with this stupid idea of having babies outside of a female body, which I swear God we actually could get to. But unless we do that, a woman still receives her natural initiation, but a man does not, because his initiation comes from the environment. So if the environment stops providing opportunities, then men never go through this rite of passage to really step into their manhood. And this is why men nowadays, like I said, suffer from midlife crisis. But this is why men in general feel kind of subdued energetically. They're not really fully satisfied with their job. They're just going to go through life instead of feeling like the king of the world that every single man is meant to feel. So now this is where sexual mastery comes in. So if we look at the fact that your true initiation into manhood needs to be something that really challenges you. Like, let's say going outdoors when it's minus 40, right? And staying in that temperature for like 10 hours. Right? Like, or going to a desert for like few days. Like that type of discomfort. So there's one thing that every man has always access to, which in fact can serve as an incredibly powerful initiation. So again, remember, when I say initiation, I mean for you to test yourself, to challenge yourself, so you realize who you really are. So it's like you have to discover your full potential. And again, if you look at nature, nature has designed practically every animal to go through that. Right? Look at the so many animals, for example, they have to break through something. You have an egg, right, with a little bird inside. That breaking through the shell of an egg is indispensable, because that's how they build their strength. The same with the butterfly. Like, we all know that if you actually help any of these animals and you break the egg for them, or you break the cocoon for them, they'll not be able to fly. So this is their first rite of passage. If you look at turtles, apart from like breaking from an egg, they have to run to water very, very fast, and then they have to swim far enough again very, very fast. These are newborn animals that like haven't really done any of this before, but this is their rite of passage, because if they don't do it right, they will be eaten. But when they do this right, that first initiation, once they are born, it builds their strength enough so now they can survive. So you, as a man, you have to be pushed to your limit. This is about your survival. You have to be on the edge of your survival, like feel like it's a life or death scenario for you to discover your true strength. This strength does not come up for men unless it's required. And most men live their lives when their true strength is never needed. Because again, we're looking for life that's comfortable and easy. We don't on purpose search for challenges. Look at the whole concept of couch potatoes. Like, this would never happen in a tribal culture, because couch potatoes would die within like a few days. But we live in times when we can allow ourselves to be so below our optimal level, where we get to live so below our potential, because we're never challenged. And well, maybe you'll survive, but the mental health, the heart, the soul, they pay the price. So, like I said, sexual mastery can serve as this initiation. So, if we look at this concept of delaying gratification, right? This is a way for you to train your character. So now we're talking about, instead of like maybe one big initiation, we're talking about certain choices in your life that can build this up, that can build your strength, they can show your true character, right? Like, we develop character. And when you've done enough of this, you actually experience that rite of passage, that initiation to the higher expression of your masculine power. So this is about the ability to manage your cravings. And this is not so important for women. Well, again, if we really want to accomplish anything in life, yes, women also need to master this. But again, for you, this is the matter of feeling like a true man. So, can you manage your cravings? Can you stay focused and committed on the bigger goal? And remember, being focused and committed and so driven, these are masculine principles. Okay. So, if you're someone who gives in easily into these different cravings and distractions, you're actually unattractive to women, because a woman is attracted to your masculine qualities and flowing with, oh, that feels good, oh, that's nice. That's what the feminine energy does. So we don't want to see that in men. We want to see in you that, wow, you're committed. Now, it doesn't mean there's no space of just enjoying the present moment in flowing. But the thing is that most men forgot the ability to stay on track. It's how much of this you allow yourself. Like, you can have like, I don't know, 20-30% of like this flowing. Okay, I'll go here, I'll go there. But the majority of your energy in your life needs to move in the masculine linear way. And so, I see a lot men these days totally giving into cravings. So let me start by this. Like, young men, you guys should not have a belly. You really should not. The way your body is designed physiologically is that you don't have to do much. You don't have to train not to have a belly. I'm not talking about being masculine, having a six pack. I'm saying that if you're just like normal human being, you will not have a belly. And yet, look how many men are soft and slightly overweight. Now, what you don't realize, because probably a lot of men feel like, oh, I'm really busy, it's like work, I'm stressed, work is very important. Like you have a lot of very successful men. Physically, they're really out of shape. What you don't realize is that the softness, that's the feminine energy. Look at female bodies. We are soft naturally, right? Like if you have two people, a woman and a man with the same lifestyle, so they work out the exact same way, they could eat the same way, a woman will have more fat, she will be softer, more squishy. Look at my ass and an ass of any other man. It's different because I, as a woman, I'm more tapped into the feminine energy and my body is feminine. Softness is feminine. Big, soft, squishy is feminine. Fat is feminine. So all those men who can feel like, oh, I'm such a real man because I make so much money, but who are out of shape, what you don't realize is that you're actually predominantly in the feminine energy. Your body is stuck in the feminine energy. And also, one is that your physical body now holds on to feminine energy. And by the way, this is not just, this kind of spiritual talk. This is also the matter of hormones. Fat increases the production of estrogen, which is a female hormone. There's tons and tons of men on our planet who do not have adequate levels of testosterone. And being overweight is one of the reasons how that happens. Right? So now, when you're in this state, you're naturally out of balance. But notice also that the very behavior that gets you to this state is the expression of the feminine and not masculine. Why? Because to put on weight means, oh, well, this looks nice. Yeah, let's eat this. This is sweet. Means giving into cravings, meaning inability to delay gratification, because delaying gratification in this case means, well, you make time for gym even if you're busy right now and you cannot do it, it's important, so you're gonna find a way. There are some men extremely successful, like for example this actor Mark Wahlberg. He wakes up at 3 a.m. so he gets to work out in the morning because when he shoots a movie he's super super busy. So there are people who are very busy and they still make it a priority, and it's possible. So it's about, saying, okay, no, I'm gonna work out now instead of giving into the craving of the moment, which would be, oh, I just want to rest, or I'm gonna do other things. It's the same with food, right? Being able to say no to those cravings and stick to something bigger. So there's definitely food. And there's such a huge topic around sex. Men who are not in control of their sexual desires are unattractive. We live in a society where we think that this is cool. We think that other men are jealous of you. And you know what? Until like maybe 17 or your early 20s, yeah, some men may be jealous of you. But trust me, once a man finds his expression of mature masculinity, he does not feel impressed by the fact that you're sleeping around. In fact, they're thinking like, wow, look at this boy. He's not yet a man. He still hasn't learned what's truly important in life. So a man who gives into sexual cravings is a man who cannot be trusted. He's not solid. You're not grounded. Again, a man who sleeps around a lot, right? It means that your sexual desires control you. How would I trust you if you're not in control of your life? Like think about it. You're not impressing me with that. You're telling me I cannot trust you because you are not in control of your decisions. Your sexual desires are. So for a man, any area of your life where you get to practice not giving into your cravings, so whether that's food, whether that's drinking, going out, or sex, is powerful. Every single time you do this is like a bit of this initiation that I was talking about. So you can build that initiation into your life, even though we live in a society that just doesn't make space for this. In a way, we really eliminated that tradition from modern Western life. So you can still create it for yourself by those small decisions. But especially sexuality is so powerful because you know very well that hardly anything is so powerful than your desire to have sex. That desire, like when you see a woman and you're like, I gotta have her, I wanna fuck so much. You're like unstoppable. It's like, this is your goal, this is where I'm going, right? So if you can manage that, if you can delay gratification in that, if you can be the one in control of that energy, that's powerful. So developing sexual mastery, it's one of the highest ways, expressions of self mastery. Let me say this again. Sexual mastery is one of the highest expressions of self mastery. And self mastery is exactly what you discover through those initiations, through those rites of passage. Right? When you go into -40 and you need to stay outdoors, you have to master your body. You have to master yourself, your thoughts, your fears. You have to master yourself to survive. And mastering your sexuality is such a high form of self mastery. So, what does it mean? It means that when you see a very sexy woman and she may be super open and even she may be coming on to you to have sex, are you able to really check in with yourself and see if this is in your alignment or not? Do you say yes because, whoa, yeah, she's sexy, she wants me, I love sex, I would totally want to want to fucking come? Like, is that the reason for your action? Or can you check in and be like, you know what, right now there is this thing happening in my life, whether it's my family, my relationship, my project, this business I'm working on, that actually requires my energy. And going and having sex right now would be a distraction from what actually matters the most for me right now. Now, that's a whole different way of showing in life. So, sexual mastery is this, is being able to actually evaluate consciously with your soul, within your, values, and see what is the action in your integrity. Not just because, yeah, sex would be amazing with this woman, not just because of that. That is craving, that is instant gratification. But being able to check in with yourself, what are my values? Where is my integrity? Would that actually be in like supportive of me and my path, or would this distract me? And then, so first is the ability to actually even engage in this type of thought process. And secondly, it's the ability to make a decision based on those conclusions. And second way how sexual mastery manifests itself is you and your ejaculation. So when you're having sex, whether with someone or masturbating, are you in control of when you ejaculate? And again, okay, so you may be like, you know what? Like, okay, this woman came onto me and I could check with myself. It was not in integrity. I said no. Maybe you have, a family like, no, this would be totally out of integrity. I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to go home and I'm going to make love to my woman. And then you go home, you're with your woman, and you feel this pressure inside of your body, and it's building up, and boom, ejaculation. So there's another level of you giving into the instant gratification. So now the second expression of this mastery is that in the moment when your body is like, let's just come, because your body wants to come as fast as possible. If you can hold that pressure, that desire in your body and not give in, that's an even deeper expression of your sexual mastery. So this is where all of those practices of non-ejaculations come in. And I think honestly, like this is why I teach this, because it's not just about, stopping ejaculation. Like people say, and that you lose your life force energy when you ejaculate. So a lot of men really want to conserve their energy. They don't want to feel so tired after sex, and this is very valid. There's another aspect of men like wanting to experience these full body orgasm and this deeper intimate connection with their partner, and that's also beautiful. This is there, but there's this other layer for men, is that when you really master your ejaculation, when you are in control of how and when you come, that's when you have mastered yourself. So non-ejaculation mastery or ejaculation mastery is your modern initiation to manhood. Through mastering your sexuality, through mastering your sexual desires towards people, whether you're going to engage in sex or not, whether you're going to engage in masturbation or not, whether you're going to give into ejaculation now, or if you're able to hold that very intense energy and not act on it, that is the rite of passage that's available to every man in modern times. So if you find yourself right now in life or you feel like something is missing in your life, there there should be more, right? If you feel like you're not using your deepest talents, that you're not actually doing something that's big and that's life changing, you just go to your work and kind of do what you're told, but it's not really what your soul deeply desires. If you're not in this highest alignment, then practicing non-ejaculation can literally shift all of it, because it shifts you. Again, if you can master your sexual energy, if you can master your ejaculation, your sexual desires, this is when you master yourself. And remember, mastering yourself is what those initiations and rites of passage have always been about. And without that, men never actually step into manhood. Most men are boys in an adult man's body. But if you don't ever go through this initiation, you're never a king, and you will never become a king unless you go through that initiation. This is why it's so powerful. Honestly, it's so powerful. And this is why I really recommend to every man, but especially a man who's in his late 30s and above. If you have this feeling that you're not living your full potential, then this is something you really want to be looking at. And my love, right now I'm actually running a special promo for my online course on sexual mastery. So I have this beautiful training where I guide men through 6 steps of this process. I teach you how to strengthen your sex muscles, how to bring more sensitivity to actually feel your arousal, feel your desires, understand how intense they are, and then teach you how to move it out of your genitals, move it through the body, and relax into the full body orgasm. And this is the process that works. I've had hundreds of men go through this program with me, either live or the home study version. And every single man reported that they could feel the intense energy in their body. They could feel it move. They could feel buzzing. There was this one man who said, like, fuck, this is amazing. This is more powerful than Wim Hof. And if you guys have ever done Wim Hof, it's freaking powerful. So we do really powerful stuff. Things that include breath, they include visualization, meditation, and certain work with the muscles, like physical practices as well. And the special promo that's happening right now, well, there are actually 2 things. Number one is we have a discount for you, $100 off. And secondly, there is a very special bonus available to those who will sign up now, or actually until tomorrow, until Sunday, the 26th. And this bonus is my training on 4 different types of sexuality, because again, we have simplified sexuality and taken away its depth. So this is, I know, new to many people, but just like we have different personality types, you can have the A personality, B personality, you can have someone more choleric or phlegmatic. We know there are different expressions, right? Like we have different astrological signs with different preferences. And there are also four sexuality types. So you will fall into one of these four expressions of sexuality, which may explain, or actually it will explain, that if there is something that like you keep hearing that like people really like men really like it, but you like doesn't really work for me, or you may really enjoy something and get off on something that's kind of uncommon or you haven't heard other people talk about, it's because we have a tendency actually of speaking only of one type of sexuality in our culture, especially Western culture. But statistically, only 25% of men will have this expression. So there are high chances that you may be one of the other types. So this is such powerful knowledge to have, and you're gonna get this for free as a bonus with the training sexual mastery. And again, this is also really helpful because when you understand how your energy flows, it gives you massive insights into how to work with this instant versus delayed gratification. Like what kind of strategies do you want to engage your mind, your body? Like there are different ways of building the self-control, and knowing what sexuality type you are will give you guidance in what will be most efficient for you to develop self mastery inside of the bedroom, but also outside of the bedroom. So, if you guys are interested in joining this course, I have a special link. Which again is going to be valid until tomorrow, until Sunday, September 26th. After that, you can still sign up and still take advantage of the discount, meaning $100 off. So currently the price is $299 for this training. If you watch this video too late, or if you decide, you got to think about it more and you decide to join after Sunday, again, for a bit of time, we're going to have a special price without the bonus. Again, if you want the bonus, then do sign up today or tomorrow. And like I said, my loves, this is a huge thing. This is a huge thing. Like we live in times that just don't understand. People don't understand that you, men, have such a big mission to fulfill. You are not meant to be here and live a mediocre life. We need this masculine power, but we live in times where there's so little of it. We live in times of beta males instead of alpha males. And it's a consequence of our society. So it's like, it's no one's fault, but it's up to every single person to watch this and maybe one day decide that I'm done being a beta man. I'm done playing soft and just kind of flowing with life. I'm ready to be the leader of my life. I am ready to step fully into my power, fully into my potential. Actually, understand what I am meant to do in this life. Don't be just a follower, but be a leader. And for that, you need self mastery. And that's what this program, Sexual Mastery, offers you. So, my loves, it would be my honor to welcome you inside. Like I said, hundreds of men have already gone through this program, and I'm receiving incredible feedback from them. Right now, we're running this special promo. So, again, check the link in the description or in the comments here. If you feel called, you can also send me a message. You can comment under this video or email me at info@magdak.com if you have any questions. But as a woman, I just so deeply invite you to step on this path, to find your edge, because when you do, this is when you become so freaking irresistible to women. And I know how beautiful that feels for me as a woman to be next to such a man. It's so inspiring. Like I change, my energy changes when I get to be around men like this. And I've seen what it does to men when they decide to step on this path. So, loves, thank you so much for tuning in live, for watching the replay. It's been such a total joy to connect with you. Do follow me on Instagram. Sign up for my newsletter. I share a lot of things. I try to be here once a week, but it doesn't always work. But if you want more content, make sure to follow me on Instagram and sign up for my newsletter, because there is, I share more content there as well. And my darling, have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Mwah.